Afternoon, guys. It's me, Remy. I know I've been kind of absent and not up to date with my videos, but I'm back in school part time and I'm trying to do that, juggle that with work. Um, I'm gonna try to post more videos as I try to get my schedule all in balance and things like that. Hopefully, I can post more videos. I'm also thinking about doing a podcast. I'm working on that. Um, Being that I kind of suck at the editing videos and stuff like that, I don't have anyone who really can do it for me. I may just do podcasts for a while until I can be able to buy me maybe a better camera instead of using my phone, or have someone really teach me how to use the software. I dabble in it and things like that, but I may just do podcasts and maybe still record myself doing the podcast, or just do podcasts for now. I'm still debating on which way to go and those options, but whatever support that I can get from y'all, I appreciate it. But anyway, my topics, today are going to be about Jenna Kutcher, Kelly Ripa, and the Heineken beer commercial. The first one I want to start off with Jenna Kutcher. If y'all don't remember, about 2 weeks ago, it was shared on the news. A couple of talk shows cover it. Basically, she got body shamed. She was basically told that she was too fat and way too ugly for her husband. And the funny part is that when you look at her, she's really not that big. I mean, she has a little bit of curves to her, but she's really not that big. And as a woman who's a little bit more curvy than she is, because you have 4 stages of size for me. For me, it's super thin. And super thin is when you can see the rib cages and the collarbones. I remember being in college, and I remember this one classmate that I had her. We were the same major at the time, and I had 2 classes with her. We were fine arts majors. I changed my major obviously later on, but we were fine arts majors, and I can literally see her rib cage. That first 2 semesters we had class together, I can literally see her rib cage, and after that, hopefully she's still doing well, and hopefully she's gaining some more weight since then. But and people, I just can't see how people think seeing your rib cage is attractive. But to me, it was that's not attractive. That looks like she's starving herself to death, and there's nothing. I don't find that attractive. But some people, you'd be surprised what people find attractive. What's their thing for them? What makes them tick? What you find sexy to you. But you have super thin, you have petite, you have average, and you have a little curvy, and you have healthy curvy. You really curvy. And as a woman who's curvy, sometimes I get really tired when I turn on the TV or go on my phone and read a news article about someone body shaming a girl who's a little bit curvy. Really is not that curvy. Now I feel y'all shouldn't even call her curvy. To me, I feel she's average. A size 12, size 14 to me is not curvy, but it's amazing in society that anything over a size 8 to them is considered curvy. But if you're a size 10 or 12, to me personally, I don't consider you curvy. But society does. And then, obviously they body shamed her and, said, how does someone who looks like you get a guy like that? I'm and she's a very attractive, young lady. And she's really not that big. She has a little bit of curve to her. But I guess white curvy and black curvy are 2 different things. Because in the black community, we know what curvy is. You got the hips and the butt, and you're really curvy, and the size that she is, to the black community, she's really not that curvy. But to have people make comments some guys like fat insecure girls. She was reading off some of the comments that they were saying. If you go to her Instagram, the first picture she ever posted, when they start body shaming her, they were saying things don't make curvy girl, sound sweet and sexy. It's not. Fat is fat. Just face it, you're just fat. You're not attractive. You're just big. They were saying things some guys just like fat insecure girls. And the thing is if a girl is curvy and a guy happens to like that girl, why does she have to automatically be insecure? Now, behind their back, you may be saying things like, how did she land him or how did he land her? Which is fine. We all been guilty of it. I've been in the mall many a times with my friends, and I would see a couple, to me, that I would think completely or opposite of each other, and we've all sat there in the whole group and said, how did she land him or how did he land her? I mean, we all guilty of saying that. But I would never, like, walk up to someone and be like, how did you get him? Or how did you get her? Or, go on her social media and put a comment under her picture. How did you get him? And what is he seeing you? Or what are you seeing her? Like, to me, that's when it's crossing the line. Yeah, you may say it, with your friends, where they can't hear you, and you may say it behind their back. Even then, that's probably wrong to even say it even then. Because even then, you're still body shaming her. She may not, hear you body shaming her, but as a woman, females, we should learn how to stick together and stop trying to body shame each other. And then also a part of me is like, when the girls are sitting there talking about, like, are you upset that you happen to be skinny, super skinny, and and you don't have a guy that looks like him? Because in reality, why do you care about who dates who and who's with who? Why do you care? If she raised 700 pounds and he wanted to be with her, why would you care? The fact that you feel like your opinion matters of who's dating who, says more about you than their relationship. Instead of saying, guys like fat, insecure women. She'll probably say, and then one comment was, I bet she say yes to anything in the bedroom because she's afraid of losing him. So she'll do whatever he wants. She just, speak up for herself, things like that. And, whatever he says he wants, she just do because she's so afraid of losing him. Because she knows that no other guy will ever be with her or take her, All those things like that are just, it's like, why do you care? And then like that double standard. No one ever asks, like a chubby guy, like, hey, why, why are you with that thin girl? Hey, how did a chubby guy like you get a super fit girl? Like none of us ask chubby guys how they got their thin wives. Like we just don't care. Like we don't care. I've seen big dudes a lot of times and their wives are like petite or like average size, like size 10 or size 8, and he's like big beer gut, out to here, and no one really asks questions like how did the chubby guy get the skinny girl? And usually we say things behind their back like she must be with him for his money. So at the end of the day, it's even though I still feel like it's a double standard, we don't necessarily ask the big guy why he get the the thin girl, but most of us will say behind their back, she probably with him for his money. Because, people just don't think. People are like, oh, if you're attracted to a chubby person, it has to be for a much underlining meaning. It has to be because they have money or you like insecure people you can push around. And why do people always assume that if you're curvy, you have to be insecure and have low self-esteem? Yes, society likes to attack people who are curvy, and sometimes they do have to deal with self-esteem issues because society is always coming at them. So it's not the fact that I don't think that curvy people are insecure and have low self-esteem because society is always attacking them. If society minded their own business and wasn't always attacking them, they probably wouldn't be so insecure. And and even for the ones who weigh 600 pounds or the ones who are only like 35 pounds overweight or only 60 pounds overweight or whatever, most curvy people wouldn't be so insecure if society just minded their own business, and wasn't always attacking them for the way they look. Or saying things like what they did to Jenna, like, oh, you're way too fat for him. Your husband is a trainer. How can you have a husband who's fit and he's a trainer and you still be so overweight and so fat? And I'm like, well, I'm looking at him like, she's really not that overweight. Like, she's like, she's like average. She's not like 700 pounds. She's not like, 600 pounds, And they're attacking her like she was like pushing 700, and she really wasn't that big. She just had, like I said, she was a little curvy, but it wasn't even that big of a, she wasn't that big. But society feels the need to attack her, tell her, your husband only with you for your money, And the reality is he makes more money than her. But we have all of these, oh, there's no way he can ever find you attractive. But, some people like curvy people. It is what it is. But the thing is that why do we care about their relationship to the point where we need to, go all over her Instagram account and just troll the living daylights out of her account and just say every mean, ugly thing that comes to our mind? Like, she's minding her own business. She didn't ask y'all to come to her Instagram account. Somebody went to her Instagram account and made that comment. How does someone like you land a guy like that? No, you're way too big for him. You're way too fat for him. You're not that attractive. How did she wasn't on social media saying, guys, look at me. Do you think I'm pretty? Do you think I'm good enough for my husband? Y'all attacked her. She was minding her own little business. We all got our own Instagram account. It's like me having my own Instagram account and someone comment under my picture right now about my size or the way I look or whatever. I'm minding my own business. I'm not asking no one to comment on how I look. But if you decide to go on my Instagram account and comment on my picture and attack how I look or my size or something like that, you best believe I'm gonna clap back. But I'm also gonna say, why do you care? Like y'all don't have to follow her or nothing. And like, y'all went out of your way to to attack this woman who's minding her own business, living her life. She has her own podcast. It's called Go Digger. GOAL, not go, but Go Digger. It's a really cool podcast. It's uplifting. It's a really cool podcast. About social media. Owning your own business. It's a really cool podcast, and it's called Go Digger, GOAL. She's just living her life, doing what she loves to do, mind her own business. But America decided to attack her. America decides to make her life their business. For every reason you feel the need to attack her, it says more about you than it does. So it shows your own insecurities. Obviously, you must have an issue with her husband looking the way that he looks. Maybe you don't have a man that looks like that. Maybe you want a guy that looks like that. And you're trying to figure out how to, well, how did she get a guy that looks that good and I ain't got one that looks that good? Maybe it's your own insecurities. Maybe you're upset that a guy who is attractive as her husband doesn't find you attractive or ain't dating you. And he's with her. That's how I see it. Like, whenever someone makes a comment about how a man or especially a woman, how she's not, oh, how did she get him? Well, she got him. You didn't get him. So in my mind, it's like, are you upset that you couldn't get a guy like that? Does that bother you that someone who's a little curvy is able to land a guy that's so hot in your book and you ain't got a guy that hot? Because obviously it bothers you because you felt the need to, body shame her on her Instagram account, her minding her own business. So maybe you stop being so ugly on the inside. Maybe you can get a guy that is hot as her husband if you stop being so ugly on the inside, going around body shaming people. If you weren't so ugly on the inside, maybe you can get a husband that's just as hot and attractive as her husband. Maybe change the insides, and then maybe more attractive people will come your way. Like, I know that some people date first off appearance. I remember I was watching a podcast. My friend has a podcast on Facebook, and someone asked the question like, well, why do y'all date these skinny girls who are just so evil and mean on the inside? And he said, because we get, all, stuck on the looks first, and then once we start hanging around them, we realize how toxic they are. So some people do automatically date based off of looks. I mean, you want to be able to look at them, right? You don't want, of course you should care about the inside and the outside, and of course you want to be able to look at them. But sometimes you have people out there who cares merely about the looks, and then once they get into the situation or, start dating them, they realize how toxic they are. And then you got to find a way to get yourself out of a toxic relationship because you only basically offer just looks. So you should care about what's on the inside and also on the outside, so you don't, like, as my friends say, get, hooked up with a, very toxic, very, you know, negative person because you got, all hooked on the looks. And then once you start dealing with it, you realize that they're very toxic. They can be very verbally abusive or just crazy, or psycho in any kind of way. So we should care about what's on the outside and the inside, but there's some people, they get stuck on the outside and then they get stuck in a very toxic relationship. But which is basically what these people are. They're attractive people who are body shaming her, and because they're so ugly on the inside, that's probably why they're single, or why they can't, keep a relationship, successful, or keep it going, So you wonder why someone who looks like her is able to be in a successful, happy marriage while you can't even get married because you're so toxic on the inside that even though you may be skinny and fit and look like a supermodel, you're so ugly on the inside that no guy is willing to marry you and really deal with you. So, so that, and maybe, and Jenna, maybe, obviously she's a nice person on the inside and the outside, and that's why her husband is with her. Not because, as society say, if a skinny person is with a, curvy person, is because they like people who are insecure. But not every curvy person is insecure. Society likes to try to make them insecure when they're always coming at them. Curvy people have to fight a little bit harder not to be insecure. We have to fight a little bit harder not to have low self-esteem because society likes to try to step to us and try to make us feel like we're not worthy of the same thing as a skinny person. Like, oh, you're not worthy of love. You're not worthy of a relationship. You're not worthy to be called beautiful. Things like that. And so curvy people do deal with a lot of crap. We do have to fight a little bit harder, because society likes to tell us that we're not worthy of something because of the size that we are. And that we can't afford to have, standards because of the size that we are. Curvy people probably heard this line more than skinny people. Like if you turn a guy down, you're like, oh, thank you, but no thank you. And people like to say things like, you can't afford to be choosy, you can't afford to be picky, and things like that. Society likes to say that to curvy people. And so, so we have to fight a little bit harder, or you ought to be grateful that he even asked you for your number. I'm pretty sure some curvy girls have gotten that line before too in the past. And if they haven't, society is always talking about them behind their back if they are with a fake guy. Or if you take, or they're going to do you like they did Jenna, just get on your Instagram page and say, how do a chubby chick like you get a fit guy like that? They either gonna say it behind your back or they're gonna say it to you, not even to your face. They're gonna say it behind your back or comment on your picture. One way or another. Curvy people deal with that. But like I said, the fact that you feel the need to make her life your personal business and saying such awful things. I mean, like some of the comments are really awful. Like, I'm like, okay, you obviously have no life to even, like sometimes people just have too much time on their hands, or they just want to go out their way just to be mean and hurtful. And obviously, like I said, that says more about you than them. Obviously, you are dealing with some inner issues that you feel the need to attack her and say, mean things about her, and the fact that, oh, the love has to be fake. There's no way in the world that he's in love with her. It has to be, and someone said, oh, he must be gay, and then that's, and she is his cover, he has to be gay. There's no way in the world he ever can be attracted to her. But hey, like I said, everyone likes what they like. Tall, short, a little bit curvy, really curvy, petite, super thin, average, junior size, whatever. Everyone have their own thing that makes them, that makes people stop and look, say this is what I like or don't like. But that's their personal choice, what they do and don't like. I just don't think that we should, say mean things about people's, personal, things that they like, what they look for in their other mate or whatever. I think that we need to get a life and stop attacking people for what they do or don't like. I think that everyone have their own type. No one should be verbally abusive or a bully about it or body shame nobody or anything like that. And we, as a human race, really need to get better at that. Which lead me to the second topic of Kelly Ripa. Now, Kelly Ripa, y'all know Kelly Ripa. She did. She has her own talk show. She was the co-host with Regis Philbin before he retired, and then Michael Scran, the ex-football player, was her co-host for a couple of years before he, got a different job. And now Ryan Seacrest is her new co-host. And she was on the beach with her husband this past week. And they said that she was too old to have a two-piece on. She's 47 years old. She's in really good shape. Like, this girl loves to work out. If you follow her on Instagram, you know that she's very health conscious. Like, the girl works out, she eats healthy. I mean, like, she really keeps herself in like really good shape, and she's like, and she's very healthy. But she's only 47 years old, and she had a two-piece on. I was like, no, a bikini, but it's a two-piece. Now, I've been to a beach a couple times. I have seen some really X-rated bathing suits on people before, and what she had on was very bland. It was very moderate. It was like a normal two-piece bathing suit. It wasn't even anything S-rated about it. And say, well, she's too old to have a two-piece on. Like, what do you want her to wear? Like the one-piece bathing suit that like grandma wear, like the 75-year-old, 65-year-old grandma puts on the little one-piece and they put on some shorts and another shirt over it and go to the beach. Like, she's not 65 years old. She's 47, which is really not that old. Like, I like 47 is like the new 30. Like, she's not even that old. And y'all coming at her like she's like 65 years old. Like, she got wrinkle up skin and, she looks like, Bob Barker or something. And the girl's body is like banging. Like, if I can look like her, I would. But, I'm 5'9", and I don't ever want to be that skinny. Like, I like my curves. Like, I'm losing weight now. I don't mind, I'm losing weight and I'm dropping weight. But I don't ever want to be that, like a two-pick. I don't want to be that thin, but, I like my curves. But the fact that she has a great body, and for her, that body fits her. Like, it fits her to the teeth. Being that petite and that small, that works for her. It works for her. She's, what I'm saying? It works for her. Me, if I was that thin, I wouldn't look right. I'm 5'9". I can't be 110 pounds at 5'9". I can't be that small. I'm too tall to be that small. But for her, with her height and everything, her being that small works for her body frame. Like, she's perfect. Like, her body is perfectly fine. She's in great shape. She's beautiful. She's healthy. And it's good. But the fact that y'all have to waste time to, get on the internet and write an article about her talking about, no, she's way too old to have that on, She can't, she's too old to have a two-piece on. I don't know why she even has that on. I'm like, again, we have too much time on our hands. Now we're going to body shame Kelly Ripa, who's not even big. So we don't even care. We're going to body shame everybody this week. Everyone's getting body shamed, whether you're big or skinny. Society, I guess, got really bored the last week and a half. And they said, we're just going to attack everybody. We're going to body shame the skinny folks. We're going to body shame the fat folks. We're going to body shame everybody. We're just going to body shame everybody. They even did Ben Affleck. They body shamed him this week. Like 2 days ago, someone wrote a 2-page article, based all that ink. I'm almost like President Trump, like fake news. They based all that ink to write an article about him. Oh, he gained some weight and his new tattoo is horrible. Who cares about the man's tattoo? He paid for it, not you. And talking about he gained a little weight. So what? He gained a little weight. He has a lot of money where he can go hire himself a personal trainer and he can lose all the weight. Trust me, with all the money that Ben Affleck has, losing weight and hiring a personal chef and a personal trainer is the least of his worries. He can afford those in his sleep. He probably can afford those for the next 60 years of his life. Like, You know what I'm saying? He can afford that. He can afford it. So the fact that you care that the man, oh, he gained some weight. He gained some weight and his tattoo is horrible. Why are we wasting ink and, paper space, you know, as a journalist, if I own my own magazine and a journalist came up to me and said, can I write an article about Ben Affleck gaining some weight and his new tattoo, I would probably fire them on the spot. But we live in a society now where, you have real news, you have fake news, and you just have like ridiculous news where people will literally write articles about somebody's weight or somebody's new tattoo, like an actual article. It's like a waste of time, but I guess, we don't want real news anymore. We don't want real journalism anymore. We just write anything. Just post it. We don't care. Just post it. It could be a waste of time, a waste of ink, a waste of, space. If I own a newspaper, do I really want to, give up my space to put an article? If I own a magazine, do I really want to, waste 3 of my pages on somebody's, he gained a little bit of weight and he has a tattoo that's ugly. I'm like, why do, if I ever be blessed enough to own my own magazine, I'm never going to write a story about someone's tattoo. I'm just not going to waste my magazine for that. And the fact that this journalist was able, got green-lighted to write an article about that. It's just like, what is the world coming to? Like, can we have, real journalism back? Like, is that okay? Like, can we get that back? Like, you still can go to school for journalism. Like, it's not dead. It's not like a dying profession. We just don't know how to write real stories anymore. Like, we don't care about real, stories anymore. We'll write about anything. It's kind of sad now in 2018 that social media has gotten so out of hand that now journalism, they don't even write real stories anymore. They'll cover anything. And that's kind of sad because we as, the consumer, we will sit there and we'll read it. And that's why journalists don't have to even work anymore. They don't have to really work hard to find real good stories anymore because we'll read anything. We will share it, like it, everything. We'll do that, that's what we'll do. And so now, as a journalist, you don't really have to even put any thought in your work anymore because we're so easily entertained now that you actually give us a real story that makes us think. Our head will actually probably hurt. Like, their heads will hurt. Like, their head will probably actually explode. Like, oh no, this is a real story that makes me have to think and use my brain. Oh no. Bring back a story about Kim Kardashian, something that I can read very easily, It's just give me some, crappy, just give me bad journalism, and I'm good. So we like bad journalism now. And then my last topic for the day, the Heineken beer commercial. Did y'all see that? Heineken, they put it off the air, but you can go to YouTube and you can still find it. The commercial starts where a bartender's at the bar. He has some like a little binoculars or whatever. He looks through the binoculars and he sees a fair-skinned, she's a white girl for the most part, a white girl at the end of the bar, and he slides her a beer, right? So the beer passed the black girl at the bar, past another black girl walking by, past a black man playing the guitar, playing the blues or whatever, and the beer slides into the white girl's hand. At the end, it says, sometimes lighter is better. People got upset about it. Chance the Rapper even tweeted about it. And, I don't think Heineken is racist whatsoever. They're not racist. I don't think they are. But culturally clueless, tone deaf, and just missing the mark, they're definitely doing that. And this is the thing. I took 2 classes back in college where they teach you when you make a commercial that you can have hidden messages behind them, subliminal messages behind them, that it can say one thing, but if you pay attention, you know how to look for it, it says something else. And even though Heineken was like, well, we were talking about the beer. We weren't talking about, light-skinned people. We were talking, or white people. We were talking about the beer. The beer is 99 calories. It's lighter, ... We get that that's what your intention was, but how the commercial is depicted, how you make the commercial where, the beer passes 3 dark-skinned people. I mean, like dark-skinned, nice dark-skinned people, and it goes in the hand of a white person. At the end, you say sometimes lighter is better. The fact that you are like a $1 billion company, and the fact that you don't have enough people on your team to tell you, hey, we understand that you have good intentions, but how it's gonna come off, it's gonna come off a little bit racist. If you do it that way. If they hire more people of color or like more diversity on their board and like on their advertisement team and things like that, to be able to tell them, like, hey, you probably shouldn't do that. Not that way. Let's do it this way. The same thing with the H&M commercial. Like, if they would have had more people on their team, people of color, people of color, and people of, diversity, to be able to tell them, like, hey, maybe you shouldn't do it this way. But, people, for some reason, to be a $1 billion company and not be able to have people of color on your team to tell you when some things can land you in hot water if you do it this way. It just shows that they're, they just don't care. Like, they're not in tune with they're just not in tune. They're definitely not in tune. If and that's the thing, they're completely tone deaf. Just hire more people on your team. Like, once you hire a couple people of diversity to be able to tell you when you're hitting the mark and when you're missing the mark. Because with that commercial, you missed the mark. You had good intentions, but you missed the mark. They're not racist. I don't think Heineken is racist at all. I don't think they're racist. They just are culturally clueless and they're tone deaf. And I'm not, and I know some people are gonna comment below here saying, "Well, no, we can't make commercials without black people getting upset." That's not the point. If you use your brain and stop being so culturally clueless and so tone deaf and so stupid and so inconsiderate, you won't be landing yourself in hot water. If they would have had one black person on their team, they would have told them, hey, we need to rearrange that a little bit because that's going to come off, it's going to come off a little racist. And I know you don't mean to be racist, but I'm telling you the black community is not going to take to it too well. And black people buy just as much as your beer as white people. The blacks are buying it just as much as the white people. So if you want to keep your black customers buying your beer, you may not want to do it that way. And that's all they have to do. But people like H&M, even Dove commercial, even Dove, the soap company, even they made a commercial last year to land them in hot water the same way. Just not thinking. Just completely tone deaf. And, and none of these companies are racist people. I don't think any of them are racist. I don't think Dove is racist. I don't think Heineken is racist. I don't think H&M is racist. I don't think none of them are racist. They don't think before they put something out. And I truly believe that they are, a little bit, all of them are tone deaf. And they all have great intentions with their commercials, but because they don't have people on their board of color to help them, I won't say people of color, just people of diversity, besides a bunch of white people. That, you have a room full of Caucasian people that, make a commercial that's insensitive to every other race but the Caucasian people. You always going to land yourself in hot water. Because you're insensitive to every other race out there. The commercial, is insensitive to every other race. And the only way to stop being sensitive to other race is by actually having people of other race on your team that work for you, that can point out to you when you're about to miss the mark. You're about to miss the mark on that one. Don't do that one. That one's going to get us in hot water. You're going to have to do it this way. You know, you're proving to us that you don't have enough people of diversity that's working for you. Because if you did, that commercial would have never been made. It's the same thing with H&M, with the hoodie situation. If you had this one person of diversity in your room, that would have never have got off the drawing board. It would have never made it to fruition if you just had this one person in your room that can say, hey, you may not want to do it that way. But, you know, billion-dollar companies don't want to, you know, hire people of diversity. They don't want, you know, they don't want to hire people of diversity. And they think they're doing something because, you know, Heineken, I can tell Heineken thought they were doing something. We're going to have the black man playing the guitar. He's going to play a little bit of blues. We're going to have the black girl walking down the bar, you know, the black model. We're going to have the other black girl in her nice, colorful little outfit sitting at the bar, you know. They thought because they put 3 black people in the commercial that somehow that was going to smooth things over. At the end, you said sometimes lighter is better. Like, you know, they thought they were doing something. We're going to put 3 black people in the commercial. They thought they were doing something. Like, we got the one playing the guitar. You know, they thought they were doing their thing. But you missed the mark again. And you will always miss the mark if you don't learn how to hire people of diversity to work on your advertisement team to tell you when you're about to miss the mark. To tell you when you're about to get yourself in hot water. You need to start hiring more people of diversity. Hiring more people of diversity, you won't constantly have so many issues. That's all I'll be saying. Think before you jump. Think before you act. Just start hiring more people of diversity on your advertisement team. And you won't keep putting yourself in hot water. Like, I know you're not racist. I don't think they're racist. I don't think any of those companies are racist. They just, you know, you're telling us that you don't have diversity in your company. That's all. Because if you actually had some diversity in your company, that commercial never got made. Unless you have black people who are too afraid to speak up because they're in a room full of Caucasian people. You have some Negroes, you know, they say just to get along. They'll do whatever they got to do just to get along. So they'll just, keep their mouth shut even when they know something is wrong. As long as you ain't got none of them people in your room, we should be okay. But yeah, those are my topics for today. Y'all can always, comment below any topics you want me to talk about or cover. I'll be glad to look into it. Like I said, I appreciate all the support that I do get. Hopefully I get to be able to post some more videos in a, quicker manner. Like I said, I'm back in school now, so that's taking most of my time. But I appreciate it. And also comment below, because this is Easter weekend, comment below what everybody cooked for Easter this weekend. What did y'all make for Easter? Go ahead and share your Easter stories with me at the bottom of the video. All right, y'all have a good one and happy Easter.